Hello, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie. I post more frequently about PCOS and GLP-1s and updates and weight loss and things like that. I've been posting, well, not for too long now. I've filmed like from start to finish, basically my journey with a GLP-1. It's in a playlist called the Wegovy Diaries. I started at 205-ish pounds and I'm now down to 120. So I've lost 86-ish, I think. And I'm in a maintenance plan right now. So recently, my last update was that I was losing insurance coverage and I had to figure something out quickly. So I got married. We were planning a wedding already. Like, we're still planning to have a big, like, reception party situation, but we went ahead and eloped so that I could get on his insurance, and they denied me anyway. So I think they're just really cracking down on it. I don't know. Like, basically the reason that I received was because I'm not a diabetic. Despite the fact that I had pre-diabetes, I was in the pre-diabetic range and I had insulin resistance, and I still do struggle a little bit with insulin problems, but they still denied me. So I found a compounding pharmacy, a compounding website that doesn't have fees, no hidden agendas or whatever, and I started that, and that's, I think, where we left off. So here we are now. So essentially, I started the compounded version, and I felt a little bit different as far as like food noise goes. I was definitely more hungrier and just fighting off cravings a lot more often. It felt like my insulin was probably a little high, and I was struggling pretty hard for that first month that I was on the compounded version. So I sent in a dose increase request because when I started at the compounded one, I actually went down. I only went down 0.3 mLs, but I don't know if it's just the fact that compounding pharmacies, you know, they have different formulations or whatever, but that going down that little tiny dose change was like detrimental to my PCOS for some reason. I started having issues with my period again. I started having the food noise and the cravings again. I started having extreme like chronic fatigue again, and like just not doing well. And that started the first week. And so I waited it out for a month. I think a month and another week, so like 5 weeks, and I requested a dose increase, which I read in my patient notes, like, okay, this patient is a good candidate for the dose increase, and then they sent me the same dose again, so I had to like kind of go back and forth with them on that. They were arguing that my BMI is in the normal range, so I don't need to go up a dose, and I was arguing that it's not working the same as it used to, and that I was already on a higher dose before I even started with them, and I just wanted to go back up to the dose that I was previously on, which compounding pharmacies do it a little bit differently, so they actually didn't have the dose that I was previously on, but they got me back up. I'm now on a higher dose. As soon as I did that first shot, I swear, like, I felt better within like 6 to 8 hours, and I thought, okay, it's probably a placebo. But now at this point, it has been a month on, no. Well, it's been almost a month on the higher dose, and I feel 100% like how I did before. So I think that my body, for whatever reason, just functions best with the higher dose. I have not lost weight. I've also not gained weight. I'm feeling really good. I'm not experiencing fatigue. I just had a period. It was pretty painful, but it wasn't as painful as it's been in the past. Like previously, I would throw up and pass out and things like that from pain, and that did not happen this month. It hurt for sure, but it wasn't like nearly, like I've for sure had worse, you know what I mean? So I'm not complaining. And then as far as like blood flow goes, with PCOS you can bleed pretty heavily. I was not experiencing that. It's moderate, I would say, but it's not like, okay, I need to change my tampon every 30 minutes or I'm gonna leak, you know? So pretty good now that I'm on the higher dose. The company that I'm using is called Pomegranate. Do your own research. I picked them because they're the cheapest. They're cheap for a reason. Like, the product is good. They work with a bunch of different pharmacies. The price is the best that I could find. There is no subscriptions. Their communication is just really bad. And I read reviews about it and saw like that their communication was bad. And I thought, well, how much am I going to need to communicate? Because I'm still working with my doctor through all of this. Like, my personal care physician, I am working with her. We talked about going through a compounded one. We talked about the dose increase. We talked about everything. And so I'm, I can communicate with her. I don't need to communicate with them. And then when the wrong dose was sent, they also charted my BMI incorrectly. They had it way lower than it actually is, which is part of why they fought me on it, So there is that. Like, it is a little bit weird, But it's still, it got figured out, and like I said, I'm still discussing everything with my doctor, so I'm not too worried about it at this point. It is the cheapest, especially if you buy more than 1 month. I think 1 month from the pharmacy that I got was like 160, and then 2 months is like, I don't even know, but 6 months is $600. So eventually I would like to just get 6 months, and because then I'm paying $100 a month for this medication. So yeah, I'm gonna go let my dog in. I'll be right back. Yeah, that's the update. I'm not trying to lose weight at this point. However, I am trying to lean out a little bit. I feel, you can't really tell in this shirt, but I have like a good amount of fat right here, and then also like the apron belly, I'm aware that like I gave birth and that probably isn't going to go away, but I want to get stronger in general and just like be able to do a whole Pilates class without dying. That would be awesome. So that's kind of where I'm at. I've been really liking Pilates. I recommend, like, as far as exercise goes, find something you like. I like Pilates. I've tried circuit training. I've tried HIIT. I've tried yoga. I've tried just walking, which I do also really enjoy walking, but I don't like going by myself. So I got a walking pad, and I find that incredibly boring. So, like, even if I'm watching TV or a movie or whatever, it's just still, I don't know what it is. I'll do it, but I don't like to. I find, like, Pilates with weights I like to do, and I always feel, like, mental clarity afterwards, so I think that's why I like Pilates the most. So just, try everything that's out there. There's lots of different exercises. Dance, is one. I like to do dance with my daughter. She really enjoys it, and it keeps her active as well. And, so we do the fitness martial dance videos together, and we have a great time with those. So that's that. I'm okay with maintaining at this point. I do still feel like there's always going to be things that I'm self-conscious about as far as my body goes. But right now the focus is on building muscle, prioritizing protein, and just, kind of like getting back any muscle that I could have lost during the weight loss process. So, that's where I'm at now. Not planning on losing, not planning on gaining. I think where I'm at right now is really good. If I gain 10 pounds, I don't know if I'd be okay with it. My doctor was like, get to a spot where you'd be okay with gaining 10 pounds, just in case. And I'm definitely not there. 120 is a low weight, but I am 5 feet tall. So technically normal is like 95 to 120. So I'm like at the highest that I can be right now without being considered overweight. My doctor is like, ignore BMI, it's not even accurate, like whatever, which it's true. That is 100% true. It's just really hard for me after like growing up listening to doctors talk at me about BMI and like with PCOS and all of that, and like my rapid weight gain that I had with PCOS. Like the BMI is drilled into my head, and it is having a hard time getting drilled out of there, you know what I mean? Yeah, so that's kind of the update. I really don't have anything else to say. I did have like a light mental breakdown when the shot wasn't working as well, and I filmed a video while that was happening, and I ended up deleting it because it was very like first world problems of me. There's a lot of really, really terrible, awful shit going on in the world, and like me sitting here complaining about my GLP-1 that wasn't working as good, and like, what am I gonna do? My PCOS is back. Like, yeah, that's shitty. But it just felt very like, woe is me. And as I was watching it back, I was like, you pretentious bitch. Like, shut the fuck up. So I deleted it. And yeah, it was shitty. It was hard. And like, it was a bad week, but it wasn't like detrimental. Like, no one died. You know what I mean? So it was just stupid. It was stupid. And I definitely will not be ever showing that to the internet. But that being said, like, yeah, it was hard, and if you switch to a compounded version and you find that it's not quite as effective, it may help to go up a dose. Also, every pharmacy is different. Some of them don't compound with anything. It's just the medication. That way is going to be more expensive if you can afford it. That's probably what I would do. But mine is compounded with B3, and I find that that's working fine. I'm not having any allergic reactions to the B3. If anything, I feel that the B3 is helping me be a little bit less fatigued. I don't know if it's B3 or B12 that's supposed to help with that. I'm also taking prenatals right now actively, so that could be also helping energy levels. But I've just found that, like, versus the straight up Wegovy, like the actual shots that I was, name brand doing before, versus this one, I am more alert and awake and having an easier time, like, getting out of bed than I was for, like, the past 2 years on Wegovy. So there is that. I feel good. I do feel like I'm eating a little bit more, but I'm not gaining any weight. And I think part of my like hunger cues that I'm having at the moment are because I'm working out more. And so I'm just naturally going to be hungrier, you know, after a heavy workout. So I think that's more what it is. I don't think it's necessarily the Wegovy. And as far as like switching from the pens to the needles, I had no issue with that. Actually, I think the needles hurt less than the pens do. The hardest thing is like making sure to measure it like accurately. But I think after a few more shots, like I'll be more used to that. And you know, it's been fine. Like I have no complaints. I have someone in my life right now who, I won't say who, just in case, you know, they don't want anyone to know, but they started tirzepatide through the same company that I'm getting my semaglutide through, and they've already lost 17 pounds, and they are doing really, really well. So I think that this company is good. My doctor did want me to switch to tirzepatide, which I may still do. I need, like, this is one of those times where I wish Pomegranate was a little bit easier to get a hold of. Like, if I could just talk to a doctor at Pomegranate, that would be cool. But I'm going to talk to my doctor about it next time I go, which isn't until May. She's pretty booked out. But maybe I might switch. Like, the next update might be about me switching to tirzepatide instead. I just hear that the side effects are less and it works better. As far as, like, fatigue, nausea, and all of that, I do still get nauseous typically the day of my shot or the day after or the night of my shot. And I've also found for the compounded one, because it wakes me up a little bit, I like to do it in the morning, and then I can still sleep at night, and then I just find like I'm waking up with less brain fog and like less fatigue, and it's been really good. So, but that's kind of all I have to say about that. If you have questions about the compound pharmacy in particular or whatever, all their pricing and stuff is on their website, and it is the cheapest that I was able to find. And they have a subreddit as well that I would go look at. The employees for Pomegranate are pretty active on there, and they will respond on there. It's just harder getting a hold of them through like their website. So the other issue, by the way, that I had with them, their website got attacked by like malware. They had one of those like fake captchas where it copies something to your clipboard and then it tells you to open your command run processor thing and run a freaking script. And like, I'm sure people fell for that and like did it. It was like exclusively for Google Chrome, I think. So if you don't use Chrome, I think you're okay. I don't know, or Windows or something. I do it on my phone, so that never popped up for me. But their like reaction to that was very slow. And I feel like if you're a business and your company has malware, like people are getting like targeted from your website, the first thing you should do is like shut down your website, make it unavailable for a day, get cybersecurity, like get fucking IT in there and like fix it. And it took them like a while to fix that. And there was posts on like other subreddits about compound pharmacies about this malware like attack or whatever that was on their website. So that was a little bit like, why aren't you taking care of your people? Like that's a little bit weird. But really like, they fixed it. It's fine. It's not happening anymore. It's just, I know people got targeted with that. And I just recently got hacked. Different way. It wasn't from Pomegranate. But, like, I got my info, like an info stealer. And they hacked my Instagram and my Facebook and my Steam account. Tried to take money. Luckily, I got everything refunded. But still, like, maybe I'm just sensitive to it because it happened to me pretty recently. But these things do happen. They do. But yeah, so that's really all I have on the GLP-1 front. Right now, building muscle is my number one priority, leaning out a little bit, not necessarily weight loss. If I gain weight and muscle, like that's okay. I'm going to get one of those scales that can tell you. I don't know how that works, but apparently they have scales that can tell you how much of it is muscle and how much of it is fat. So I can like keep track of that. I don't know how accurate those are. I have zero research on it. So maybe they're just like actual scams. I don't know. But I plan to stay with Pomegranate. My insurance did change again, and apparently they cover Wegovy. So I'm waiting again. I can't see my doctor until May. So, but I did just purchase like a 2-month supply of the semaglutide from Pomegranate. So I have plenty. Like I'm okay with it. It comes quickly. I did have one time where I had to be like, hey, when is this gonna ship? But and it shipped out that night. So they just whatever it was slipped through the cracks that one day. So, yeah, and it comes in, it's cold, it comes in like an ice pack bag, comes with needles, comes with alcohol pads, like it's been fine. But yeah, that is all I've got, and that's all I'm gonna have for a while. So, what I am thinking for this channel as far as the future of it goes, like there's only so much I can yap about PCOS and being on semaglutide and weight loss, the differences I've experienced with weight loss, things like that. And that is my life, like right now. But as I'm like coming into like maintenance mode and less like in the thick of it mode, I decided like I'm just gonna vlog basically and like just keep my life updated, like document things that are happening to me, and not necessarily to like get YouTube famous or anything, but I think it'd be really cool to look back on this like as a 60-year-old woman and like just see where I was at, you know. I'm very, very forgetful. I have issues like retaining things, so I think it'd be really cool to just like be able to go through and see this type of stuff. Or like, what if someday my grandkids are watching this? That's crazy. So I'm gonna just keep documenting things going on in my life. Well, I've got a lot happening right now. The most exciting thing is the Disney trip that we're planning for next month for my daughter. My car just broke down. That's been fun. And yeah, I'm working on ADHD. I got diagnosed like officially, which I was diagnosed as a child. I got my official adult diagnosis, I guess. And I was going to start medication for that, but we are planning baby number 2. We are not actively trying at the moment, which is why I'm still taking semaglutide, but it is also why I'm taking prenatals. Also, prenatals, like, it's cheaper to buy the prenatals with the DHA or whatever the fuck it's called than to buy, like, a multivitamin, DHA, fish oil, whatever, separately. It's all in the prenatal, so I've been taking them for a while. But I'm also, like, preparing for pregnancy, and that's why, like, Pilates is great. I just want to be a little bit stronger this time. I had a really, really rough pregnancy, and labor was, like, okay. Definitely, like, I don't know anyone who was like, oh, I love labor. But I had a really, like, bad nurse that ruined pretty much the whole experience for me. Maybe I'll talk about that in a different video. And, I mean, like, for example, she told me I'm too young to have kids and that I would regret this when I'm 30, as I was actively in labor. Like, water broke and, like, at the hospital. She told me that. And that's not even the worst thing she said to me, to be completely honest with you. So, you know, I am debating, like, different hospitals, just because that nurse. I know she still works there, so I don't think I want to go back there. At least not without, like, a doula or, like, a advocate to be like, do not allow that bitch in this room. You know what I mean? So there's that. Planning a second pregnancy, worrying about my current 5-year-old and, like, how she's going to react to that. She's begging me for a sibling, though. So I just don't think she's aware of, like, how it actually is to have a sibling. Me and my brother don't even speak. So there's that. But, you know, hopefully things will be different. And, like, she does need a little someone to play with, you know, more often. But that will be coming in the future. So I'll be filming, like, documenting pregnancy and stuff. I wish that I had done it the first time. So I would just really like to have that for myself, like I said. And I will not be showing her face ever, or any child's face ever, until they're old enough to, like, really consent to it, which I don't even know what age that would be. Like, literally 18 would be, I think, appropriate. But I'm a helicopter parent. I just don't want her on the internet anywhere, especially with where AI is at right now. And, like, you know, I just am not a fan. And I know that people aren't all bad, but, like, I'll be watching TikToks and I'll see, like, a cute baby video and it'll have, like, 87,000 saves. And I'm like, why are people like, why? At what point do you need to save this? Like, that's really weird. Like, I don't know. I just don't trust anybody at this point in the world and life, you know? So anyway, that's where this channel is going to be headed. I'm happy to talk about PCOS and, like, answer questions, especially now that I kind of feel like I'm out. It's not gone. It's for sure still, like, a thing. Like, you know, I lower my dose a little bit and all my symptoms come back. So, like, obviously it's not cured, but I'm happy to talk about it, happy to educate. I think people need to be more educated on it. Happy to answer questions about Wegovy specifically, semaglutide. And because I, you know, have never tried the other ones. I just feel that at this point in my life, there's other things going on, and there's really no updates as far as the Wegovy goes. So I just am trying to get through these hard times, as we all are. I also have chickens. Like, we could talk about the chickens and the eggs and the rooster and all the things. And just, you know, it's just going to be my life from now on. So I will always be happy to talk about PCOS and everything else going on. And obviously, like, the next time I have an update as far as the GLP-1 goes, I'm an open book. I'm going to talk about everything because I feel that we don't need to gatekeep something that has helped my PCOS personally so much, and other people's too. Like, I'm in a lot of PCOS groups, and people are like, within 4 weeks, my inflammation was 0. And like, people just feel so much better. So I don't want to gatekeep. I don't think that we need to gatekeep. Yes, I used a GLP-1. I tried everything else. I have proof, whatever, like, I just needed help because my insulin was so out of control, and now that it's under control, I'm doing great. And I don't think that there needs to be a stigma against that, or I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And if you're on it and you don't have PCOS, again, nothing wrong with that either. Like, it's something that people need help with, and like, we're not here to shame people for getting help that they need. So all of that being said, I'm gonna go. I actually need to pick her up pretty soon. If you want to hear the story about the nurse that ruined my hospital experience, oh yeah, I definitely need to go. I'm happy to tell it. I wrote a letter to the Board of Registered Nurses for California, and there was an investigation opened, but she still works there. I hope she got educated. I hope that she treats people better now at this point, but I still don't want her back. So she knows it was me who reported her, and I don't want to have to worry about her at all while I'm in such like a vulnerable position, you know what I mean? Literally and metaphorically. So, yeah, there's that. But I'm gonna go. My next video is actually gonna be about Disneyland and what I'm bringing with like having a 5-year-old and stuff. And this will never be a family channel. I'm still gonna cuss. I'm still like, don't watch me around your kids. But it's just gonna be about my life, and right now my life is being a mom, and that's it. So I'm gonna go pick her up, speaking of being a mom, and I'll be back like next week with the Disney video, and then after that maybe I'll talk about that crazy psycho nurse who I hate. Hopefully she's good, hopefully she's better, hopefully she got educated. Okay, bye.